The Goblin Caves, a dangerous yet lucrative dungeon for solo players. For those of you who are newer to Dark and Darker, or those who are looking for tips when it comes to the Goblin Caves, you're going to find everything you need to know in this video. I'll mostly be going over all enemies, how to beat them, and some of my favourite loot locations where you can find the most valuable possessions. Hope you enjoy, guys, and if you do, like and subscribe goes a very long way. Enjoy. Alright, starting off we have these bats with the green eyes. I have no idea what they're called. Death wings, I think? Death skulls? But yeah, these are pretty easy to deal with. For the most part, you know, if you're a fighter you can use your shield, just walk in a straight line. And if you're any other class you can just wait until they charge up and then step to the side. Now these mobs are very nice as they tend to drop rather expensive utility items like throwing knives, Francisca axes, and also they have a chance to drop pendants as well as other trinkets. So very nice and very easy to deal with. Up next we have the main enemy of the Goblin Caves, and that is, well, you guessed it, the Goblins. Well, the melee one with just the sword, very easy to deal with. You just walk up, bait an attack, and then backstep. And then after they've attacked, you can land an attack or two, and then just rinse and repeat, backstep. You'll see me doing it again here. I'll run up, hit, and then as soon as they attack, I backstep, hit, backstep, hit. Very easy. Not really a problem. Sometimes you can screw up your timing and take a hit. But once you get it down, you'll be golden. And as long as there's no wizard throwing fireballs, I think you'll probably be alright. Archers are a little bit of a different story. As a fighter, you can use your shield, and if you're using your shield, you want to be aiming up to make sure you don't take headshots. For any other class, you're going to have to use cover, bait a shot, peek round, take a hit, and then again duck behind cover. It's a little bit annoying, but yeah, just got to take your time. And on to the last type of goblin, the new nunchucks goblin. They're very similar to the archer. You just have to bait their long range attack, and then you can land hits. But yeah, once you've got that down, archers and nunchuck goblins are pretty much the same strategy. The last type of goblin we have is the goblin shamans. Now these are normally surrounded by different types of goblins. These are normally ones wielding swords and well, I don't know if it's nunchucks, but it's some kind of weapon, like a ball on a chain, I'm not sure. But yeah, the shaman has two different attacks, one of which isn't really an attack. First he'll fire orbs, he'll fire 4 of them, and then after he's fired 4, he'll start to heal in an AoE. So all you gotta do is use cover to bait out those 4 shots, and then you can kill him when he starts healing. Nice and easy. The shaman's making me blush, man. On to some of the more unique enemies. We have the Death Beetle. Again, the name might be completely incorrect, but yeah, it's just what I call it. This one is a bit of a pain to deal with, can catch you off guard sometimes. Some of the attacks can be a little bit dodgy when it comes to hit reg, it feels like. But the main strategy is you want to aggro one at a time, bait it in, and then when he goes for that attack with the stinger, you're going to want to just step to the side, or again, use your shield if you're a fighter. But it's all about timing, and all you got to do is step to the side. As you can see, you've got 2 more of them here. A little bit more difficult because we've aggroed 2. Again, the importance of aggroing one at a time. You can see in this clip, dealing with more than one can be a little bit of a pain. Because if you do get hit, you get slowed, and then they can hit you more easily again. Now onto one of the newer enemies. We have the Sonic Bat. It's very difficult to dodge the initial sonic boom, which seems to disorientate you. But yeah, not really too bothered about that. Doesn't do any damage, and the disorientation lasts a very short amount of time. It does have a lunge attack, but as long as you're backstepping constantly and kind of moving around, I'd say moving around in like a circle, you're going to find it very easy to dodge the dash attack. As you can see, the dodge attack there. As long as you're moving almost in a circle, they're never going to be able to hit you. And sometimes you can dodge the sonic boom as well. Apart from that, you just want to be hitting them like the bats and like the beetles, and yeah, nice and easy. Tend to drop trinkets mostly. Now on to one of the more annoying but easier to deal with enemies. We have the spider. You want to be getting headshots on these guys. You can usually take them out in one shot. And then you're going to want to find the pot from which they're spawning from. This can be sometimes hidden behind vases like this. You destroy the pot, clear up the spiders, and that is all you need to do. Then we have these skeletons. These guys are pretty standard, much like the goblins. Get close, bait an attack, and then backstep, sidestep, and then go back into your own attack. Don't get greedy, and take your time, and you shouldn't have any problems. This room here has quite a lot of different enemies. We have the skeleton wizard. You can usually aggro him and then hide behind close cover and make him fireball himself. The only skeleton you really need to watch out for in the undead crew is the one with his Zweihander, as you can see here. He has 2 swings, which he can sometimes alternate to. And as you can see, if you're close by or you get stuck, he's likely going to punish you and get quite a few hits in. The next enemy we're going to be looking at is one of the hardest enemies to deal with just in general in Dark and Darker, and that is the Skeleton Champion. Now in the Goblin Caves, the best way to deal with this guy is to use your environment to your advantage. Now the way to fight him in this room is you're going to want to clear most of the mobs up before you engage him. You can see I made a bit of a mistake here by aggroing quite a few of the mobs at the same time as the Skeleton Champion, so I'm having to kite round and clear them. But the main objective here is to use the spike traps on the floor to actually constantly deal damage to the champion as you kite him round the room. So that's why it's very important to clear out the mobs, because you're going to be moving around quite a lot. Yeah, he has a 3 swing attack, which he seems to do most commonly, and a 1 swing attack. So you just want to make sure you're keeping your distance, try and bait the attack when you go for 1 hit, and then immediately take distance, because as you can see, if you're not quick enough, he will land a hit on you. And yeah, as long as you continue to use those traps, keep landing hits on his head, he will drop to the floor just like that. And this guy can drop some very nice loot, normally blues and greens, sometimes purples, but yeah, very good to kill. One of the newest additions to Dark and Darker is this goddamn Centipede. Now, it's a bit of a pain in the ass to deal with. He has this toxin spray, which sometimes he will just spam at the start. The only way I've found to really counter this is to get him after he does his first attack, where he actually lunges forward. You can kind of keep him locked in this single attack by running around his side towards his back end, and this way he won't do the purple spray either. So you just want to keep up this very strong rotation, really close to the Centipede, and you're going to find he's going to struggle to hit you. And yeah, just keep landing attacks. It does take quite a long time to kill him, unfortunately, but you just got to keep at it. Now onto the boss of the map. Yeah, you know what? He deserves his own video. Moving on to areas now where you can find a good amount of loot. We have the library in the Goblin Caves. You can sometimes spawn beside this, clear it up pretty quickly, and then you can find yourself grabbing quite a lot of trinkets. Sometimes you'll get potions spawning on these shelves, and even quite rarely you'll find the odd pendant or ring. So really one of the best places to explore. If you don't spawn near it, it's a good place to go to if you can, but if you do spawn, make sure you clear it out and get as much as you can. The second area to check out is the mine in the Goblin Caves. There's actually 2 rooms like this, but this is the biggest one. And the reason this is good is because you can bring a pickaxe into your raid and you can actually kill the goblins around the edges and then sit here and mine both cobalt and ruby silver ore. So it's definitely worth doing if you have the time. Lastly, we have the small water area at the top right of the map. This is one of the best lit locations on the map because it has quite a lot of chests. It has a lion's head chest which sometimes is open and sometimes requires a picklock. But more often than not, I've found it to be open and you can find some very nice loot in there. But one of the main attractions to this room is the great amount of barrels and crates where you can smash to find gear. And then the final attraction to this room you're about to see. You can normally find a rare drop on this bench, any type of rare drop, but yeah, I've had some really good stuff there, so definitely worth going. You might also occasionally make a friend in the Goblin Caves. Make sure you protect them, don't betray them. Well, that's a pretty good rundown of pretty much all the enemies you're going to encounter, some of the best loot locations on the map, and yeah, just how to generally survive in the Goblin Caves. I wish you the best of luck, hope this video was helpful, and if it was, make sure you subscribe. I'll see you out there in the dungeons, guys.